Here's an example. Let's say you set up a 45-day due diligence, 45-day close, and it's okay to get an extension. You negotiate the extension up front, that kind of thing. But then you just sit on your hands for 45 days and now arrange the financing. And now you're scrambling at the last minute. It's things like that.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest, Agostino Pintus, is a real estate developer and investor with Day Street Capital. He's focused on acquiring essential service net lease assets designed to produce durable monthly income. Welcome to the show, Agostino.
Hey, thanks for inviting me. Appreciate it.
Now, when we talk net lease, this is an asset class which I think, is very durable and resistant to market trends. Am I onto something there, or is it the opposite of that?
No, that's generally what the business thesis is around people that acquire such assets. So what we're looking to buy, and what you just said a second ago, are businesses that have a corporate guarantee. So think of Advanced Auto Parts, Firestone, Family Dollar, usually publicly traded or large private companies like Mars. Mars owns VCA Animal Hospital, right? And these are companies that are extremely durable. They're financially backed. They have a lot of money, and they're not going to go out of business tomorrow. And even if they did, that lease it gets paid down first as one of the creditors, right? So before their investors do, which is interesting, right? So in that perspective, it's extremely durable. It's certainly not easy to acquire these assets because, like we said in the green room, you're looking at many, many, many assets to determine whether the deal is viable or not. So it takes some effort to do that. But you know what? It is a very good solution for people that are looking for good, steady stream of income. There's very few things that are like that. They're still real estate related. That's still somewhat predictable as opposed to other asset classes.
I've got a chicken and the egg question. Which one comes first? When you're dealing with these corporate, publicly traded Fortune 500 companies, this type of thing that need retail space, are you finding the real estate asset first and then reaching out to them, or are they reaching out to you and saying, hey, we're expanding in this area, we need some space?
Sure. So, well, generally speaking, we're buying assets that already are ongoing concerns. They're already running. Like we're not looking to develop them right now.
Okay.
We will in the future, but not at this point. But generally speaking, what you want to do is maybe acquire, let's say, 100 of these things, which is tough. Okay. Tough to do. Understand the analytics around it. And then you're almost like acting like a scout for them, because at that point, now you understand the demographic, you understand the vehicles per day, you understand what square footage you're looking for, how many acres you're looking for, all these various nuances to that specific vendor. They can call up the person who manages that lease relationship, right? And you can say, hey, I found a property here. Do you want me to build it for you and I can lease it? So that's generally, I mean, that's one way how it's done. But I have other friends of mine that are in the construction business, and they build, I think it's Dollar Trees. They build Dollar Trees. They used to anyway. I think they still do. And Dollar Generals, I think. So yeah, they do the construction. Sometimes they'll source the land and do the same thing
Right,
I just
right.
told you, or they'll just build. They'll get a phone call to say, "Hey, can you
Yeah,
build this unit over here?" Generally speaking, it's how it's done, right? But I think that's a very different type of situation. I think
right.
it's but there's always opportunities for that, of course.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Now, when you're looking at acquisitions as a whole, and we were talking before, in the green room about how many deals you're having to look at to find one that pencils. Are you scouring multiple sources to find these deals? Are these deals coming to you? Is it a combination of different, lead sources and funnels, so to speak?
Yeah, generally speaking, it's very similar to multifamily, and that's where I cut my teeth is on the multifamily side. I know a lot about multifamily. I built a fairly significant portfolio at one point, and I'm in the process of selling everything right now. If the brokers know who you are and you're easy to deal with, you're not a jerk, you're not going to retrade them at the last minute. You don't do the basic rules of asset acquisition. You don't ask them to take a haircut on their broker fee. Brokers generally don't like that. If you develop a relationship with many, many brokers, the deals will come to you. That's one of the hardest things in this whole business. It's not just net lease. It's in multifamily, industrial,
Yeah.
anything real estate related. Yeah, they have to like you. They have to know you can close, and they have to know that you're not going to be an idiot when you go to get a deal under contract and you start screwing around. And here's an example. Let's say you set up a 45-day due diligence, 45-day close, and it's okay to get an extension. You negotiate the extension up front, that kind of thing. But then you just sit on your hands for 45 days and not arrange the financing, and now you're scrambling at the last minute.
At the
It's
last
things like
minute for the
that.
financing.
Yeah. And you ask the broker to take a haircut. You do that. The broker may be gracious and give you the discount. They will never give you another deal ever again. They'll remember that. They
No
will remember
question.
that.
Yeah, no
They
question. I
tell
mean,
me this.
when we talk
Yeah.
about especially larger deals and economies of scale, one of the things that I've heard from investors is, and I think you're talking about how this is not really advantageous to investors, that this hurts them in the long run, is they'll say, okay, well, it's this size, I'm not going to give you the typical percentage of commission, whatever it is, 3 to 6%, because you're going to be making, on a percentage, you're making so much more money. That's
Mm,
sometimes the thought process of some investors where you have to realize, like, well, this is kind of what is industry standard. So you're asking the broker to go under industry standard to work for you upfront for free, right? And are they going to be incentivized to send you deals in the future? Probably not.
right. Right. Here's what I mean by that whole broker situation, the broker fee thing. If you're negotiating up front and you having a decent conversation, you're absolutely right, Dylan. It's if the deal is, say a $10 million deal, they'll generally reduce their broker fee. They'll do it. They'll take it down to 1% or whatever it might be, right? they're not going like, but then you go and ask them after the fact, after you sign it up. Oh, hey, by the way, I need you to reduce the fee again. Like, you don't do that. Just don't start retrading, or then, or you get we have a guy here in town.
Yeah.
He'll wait a week and a half before the money goes hard on due diligence, and they'll start a retrade. Always is a retrade for $250,000, 200 grand, 150, like
It's real estate
significant retrade.
strategy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I've never done that. I've never, whatever that, if the price I agree to is the price, I always close at that price. Unless there's a reason for me to do a retrade. Like, the only time I did a
Yeah.
retrade, there was a sewer line that was broken. We scoped it. We saw the sewer line was broken. We let the broker know, and the seller, hey, look.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
We scoped the line. We found this sewer line's broken. If you want to fix it, go ahead. Or here's a quote from a guy that could fix it. It was based on the reality of what we found, because it's not based on the asset itself. Like, I can walk around, I can see the units, I can understand what was going to cost to repair X, Y, and Z. Same thing goes with net lease. Same thing goes with any deal you're doing. Never, the retrade will always kill you. And I don't care what type of market we're in. It just, nobody's going to
Yeah.
want to deal with it. They just
I
don't
mean,
want to deal with it.
when we talk about, kind of the adversarial relationship that some people can have with brokers, right? I mean, not only is it going to stifle, possibly getting future deals, but also too, you're mentioning like, that will become your MO, like your reputation. Oh, that's the person who
Yeah.
does X, Y, and Z, right? And then, that's going to maybe sour things in your sphere as well. So like, it's not just that relationship with that broker, it could be your sphere too. I mean, this has a ripple down effect. I would like to pivot here though, Agostino, and ask you about some markets that you may be seeing a lot of deals in, or that you may be reviewing more deals in. I know that right now, particularly in the Sun Belt, is a really hot area, but also some people will say, I'll just buy wherever the deal pencils. Are you looking at specific markets in the Sun Belt, or is it, a mix across the board?
So generally speaking, yeah, we are looking in the Sun Belt and the South, and the reasons are probably not what you think they are. We consider the asset. We consider the asset location. We consider the weather that property needs to endure year in and year out. If you locate an asset in Boston, Massachusetts, Advanced Auto Parts, okay, you know how the winters are in Boston. They're pretty
Yeah.
brutal. They're brutal here in Cleveland. They're brutal there in Boston. I think they might be more brutal up there, right? And I'll tell you what, depending on how the lease is written, that asphalt is taking a beating every winter. It is, aside from the heavy, that's we're talking about, again, the Advanced Auto Parts with the asphalt parking lot. You have to deal with the salt, and then you're going to deal with the snow melting, and then coming back, and the snow coming back, and it's going to get into the cracks and brings it up, and now you got to bust it up asphalt. Who's going to pay for that? Well, the lease says that it depends whatever the lease says, right? But if the lease says that the owner gets to pay for it, then you have to make sure that you have budget. That's going to impact your overall value of the asset.
Yeah, that's a
Think
great
about
point.
it, right? So, I mean, it's just something minor, but the same thing goes with the roof.
Adds up.
Same thing goes with, yeah, it all adds up. And where in the southern states, they have different types of things to endure, but those types of things are a little less expensive. So yeah, it matters, but it all comes down to whatever the lease says. The lease drives everything. If the lease says that they pay for the asphalt, then you have to determine the probability of a renewal if they have to replace the asphalt, or are they just going to say, screw it, we're just going to find a new place to set up this business.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
You know, when
So
we
as you
when
look
we
at it,
talk
yeah.
about triple net lease, my understanding is maintenance is typically one of the things that's uh, a responsibility of the tenant. But you mentioned like asphalt in this case, where it could be an area where, hey, what's mentioned in the lease? Other than asphalt, what are some things that you've seen where, if this happens, that the investor is going to be the one holding the bag?
I mean, it could be a roof issue, right? You'd be surprised how many people ram their cars into a wall. This has happened numerous times. I don't know why it happens, but it's happened. And even though we have insurance for that, there's a deductible. We have to pay it, right? Well, we pay it, and then they reimburse, right? Again, it depends on whatever the lease says. And just because the brokers call it triple net, they always call it triple net. It's the nets are determined by the lease itself. They'll refer to it as triple net. You read the lease, it's actually a double net, or they'll
Right.
say that the landlord is responsible for shoveling and moving all the snow. Well, I don't know what the weather is in Boston, Massachusetts. So how am I going to know what to shovel the snow, right? And then if you know anything about the snow removal, you have to lock it in early on in the season. Otherwise, you're going to pay premium. So there's all kinds of rules around it that you really, really, really have to understand. It requires a high degree of complexity. There's a high degree of complexity, rather, to manage all this. So, I mean, we have technology that we built, and we're building another version of it right now that helps us identify the assets and help us manage these types of things, because there's so many nuances, especially if you're trying to build a portfolio, like a true portfolio of these net lease assets. You really have to understand those nuances, or you're going to have a hard time.
Now, in a typical net lease, is there a average duration? Is it 10 years, or is it really just dependent on that lease and that tenant?
Yeah, it depends on the lease, depends on the tenant. We find that, let's say, for instance, animal hospitals, right? The animal hospitals, they build a solid community around them, and everybody that lives in that community, in that, say, 1 5 mile radius, around that animal hospital. The and as you know, the animal becomes part of the family. Your
Yeah.
cat becomes part of the family. Your dog becomes part of the family. It's part of the family. So it's not just fixing animals or fixing a cat or a dog. You're taking a member of the family to someone in a place that you trust that will help uh, solve the problem that your pet is facing. And those ones usually do fairly well, right? So it depends. It really just depends on how comfortable the owner or the franchisee. It depends on if it's a franchisee, if it's corporate owned, if it's franchisee owned. There's a whole bunch of dependencies, whole lot of dependencies
It
to
could
how
vary. It
these
could
leases
vary.
work. Oh yeah,
I-
greatly.
Is
Yes.
is there a generally accepted, um, I guess, procedure for increasing rents? Are these written into most leases, like, hey, at the 5-year mark during the lease we'll have a scheduled increase? Or is it, hey, we have a 10-year lease, the rents are going to be even during this 10-year period?
Yeah, this is where there's a big difference between multifamily and net lease. And I've done multifamily. I've done everything, and I've done the whole gamut in multifamily, from acquisition, debt operations, investor communication, all the things from beginning to end. I've done it all. And as part of the business plan in a multifamily, you're able to look at an asset And maybe if it's a B class asset, maybe you want to bring it up to a B plus. Okay, great. Well, what are you going to do? I'm going to replace the flooring. I'm going to put in a fountain in the lobby. I'm going to put in high end finishes in the units, yada yada yada, and increase the rents by $500 because I know that the area will support it. You have many things you can do in a multifamily asset to improve and drive revenue. On a net lease, not so much. There's maybe you might do a blend and extend where you're waiting till the end of the lease. You come in and you're able to acquire the asset because the lease is about to run out, and you have to determine what's the likelihood of that person or that company or that franchisee renewing. Got to figure it out. They're not going to tell you. They don't tell you. Sometimes they do, but don't rely on just them telling you, because I've seen plenty of cases where a company says they're going to do something and they end up doing something else. Happens a lot. And everything is driven by the lease, including the rent escalations. So you have to really understand the nuances of the deal itself. Like, hey, look, let's say we're buying an Advanced Auto Parts, and you have to look at the cost per square foot. What are you acquiring it at? Okay, how many other vacant buildings are in that market?
Yeah.
And what would it cost to build out something just like that half a mile up the street? If it's easy for them to do, you better get a good deal on that asset, because if you're and if you're hard to deal with as a landlord, as the owner of the asset, they will move that business somewhere else. It's like anything else. If you're difficult, they will move that deal elsewhere, always, right? If it's cheaper to build something modern, they will move it. So it really just depends. Yeah, it depends.
It's going to be very much situation by situation, basis for rent escalation and the like. We are coming up on time here, though, Agostino. Any new projects that you're working on? And then as well, what's the best way for folks to reach out to your team?
So yeah, right now, like I alluded to earlier, we're building some new technology that helps us underwrite deals and understand and consume all the nuances, and then come up with a solution, because we're looking at a lot of deals. It's the only way to scale this thing, especially for the exit that we're planning. And because my background is tech, we understand how to build that kind of stuff. So that's not really public facing. That's something that we use, but it'll certainly be a huge advantage for us as we continue growing and scaling the business. Because this is the type of stuff that we're putting together is largely used by institutional grade type of companies, not mom and pop buyers that just build a collection of little stores. We're building an actual portfolio that can one day be acquired by a BlackRock or a Blackstone or a large group that wants to acquire a large portfolio. So it's two very different models that we're here for, that we do. Anyway, so yeah, but if anybody does want to find out a little more about what we do, it's Day Street with an E, DEY street.com. That's probably the best way to get a hold of us. There's a contact page there. Yeah, feel free to reach out.
Agostino, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.